Welcome back to Sprocketman Designs. Hope you're all doing well. And I'm already kicking things. Okay, so got my trivet or pan stand, call it what you like, off to spray quick, and by a very happy accident, while I was trying to work out with Jace the kind of colour to go with, they'd got some, actually I don't know what they were, but it was something for another client and there was an awful lot of them, but the colour was really interesting, and it had like a metallic sparkle to it. So the plan now is to get the spoon rest assembled and ready, and I'll zip that over, get the two done together, and then my kitchen set will be done. So without too much further ado, what I'm going to do is cut this end off of these two spanners, so I then can use the smaller end there to just drop a spoon into. It'll also be bent into an L shape, so I'll be taking it off as close to where it flares out there as I can. Reason for cutting it off, I'm going to be bending it at about that point so it sits forward, and then I've got to work out a way to make a very shallow almost bowl to collect anything that drips off the spoons. Also got to work out how I'm going to join these two together. I have a feeling at the moment that this little sprocket here is suddenly going to become employed, and I'll just move the camera around so you can see it. So just sticking out of the vise here are three other flatter spanners. These are very simple ones. They have a 13mm hole at one end and a 15mm cutout for pedals at the other. What I'm going to do here is just nick it off right next to where the cutout for pedals is. Then the opposite end, I'll take it off just below the hexagon, so in principle I'll have three flat pieces of metal. What I will then need to do, and I'm still trying to get my head around it because I've done this before but I can't remember how, and it's really starting to annoy me. I've got to get a curve into it, then the two pieces that will go on the outsides, so it will look like you've got three, one, two either side, third one there, but because they'll be curved, if I just put them all together it'll be just an arc and stuff will drip out the sides, not what you're looking for. So I've then got to work out just exactly how much to grind off the inner edges so I can then tack them all together and create a bowl shape. Now you're probably there going, oh, there's easier ways to do it. I can't think of one at the moment, but I will set fire to that bridge when I get to it, as opposed to myself, because I really don't want to do that again today. On a complete aside, if any of you out there happen to be fans of Disturbed, because I am, they're busy playing in my earholes at the moment. It's from their new album, Divisive. Brilliant. If you like them and you haven't got it yet, get it. It's great fun. They're back to their lovely loud selves. So, power to grinder. And I need a fresh cutting disc, don't I? And I'm being defeated by a tin. This does not bode well for the rest of my day. If at first you don't succeed, use a knife. Now, I've not used this brand of cutting discs before, but the lovely people at Machine Mart recommended them, so let's give them a go. They've never done me wrong yet, so should be alright with this one, I think. Okay, plug your ears. I like these cutting discs. I think what I will do to make life a little easier for myself is engage my brain . Okay, so let's just take off the opposite end now. So 15mm end's gone, 13mm end is about to leave here. Yeah, it's official. I really like that cutting disc. You should be able to make out, hopefully. I've left the measurement for the spanner sizes on all three, mostly because of my slightly weird sense of humour. I like the idea of it. What I'm going to do now is, using my bench grinder, is just take the rough edges off these ends, possibly just round the corners off as well, just to give it a nicer shape. Actually, I'm not going to do that until the end, because then I only need to do, yeah, so I'll leave that bit to the end. I will just take off these rough edges though, so I don't cause myself any damage. The other thing I've still got to do, as usual, is take the flat wheel to all of this, get it all back to nice bright metal. Because I don't know what this is coated with, but I doubt it will do me any good if I try and weld through it. So that's the plan. We've had a reasonable start. That's the shape of the spanner I've just cut off, and I've managed to cut it close enough to the hexagon to leave it flat there, but still give me the maximum metal. So, right, yep. On the positive side, the temperature outside has gone up to a point where it's almost touching double figures. So it's not freezing cold in here again. even with my little fan heater on, there are times I've come out here to do some work for you lovely guys to see, and I've just decided, you know what, it is entirely far too cold. I still haven't decided whether that's the right sprocket yet. Yeah, worry about it in a minute. They're all got to be done. I don't know why I'm procrastinating so much. As you can see, because I'm not going to be using these ends, I'm not going to bother polishing them back, because one, what's the point in trying to wrestle with another hot piece of metal, and you know, why waste the effort? What I'm going to do with these now is clamp them down individually, knock them out, and do it this way. And that, hopefully, is what we'll get them all to look like. And that one's really hot. So, yeah, as you can see, that's where I'm going to go. So what I'll do, save you getting entirely far too bored, I'll pause it while I do these remaining ones, and then bring you back and see if I've worked out how I'm going to do any of this. See you in a sec. Okay, so I've got everything ground back and shiny. As you can see from this little piece of metal here, it occurred to me how to create the shape I wanted. So with the aid of a bit of old tent pole, some old IKEA kitchen shelf, I managed to create enough of a curve to make me happy. What I've done since then is mark out some lines on this, which I'm now going to go out with my angle grinder, which will shape the centrepiece. The thinking behind doing it that way, very simply, is I then just tack the two sides on and I've got my shape. All being well. Haven't quite worked out how I'm going to do that yet, but you know, we'll worry about that down the road a bit. Okay, so as you can see, with that bit ground back, that should let me just connect those two together quite nicely. So all I've got to do now is keep going. Okay, so far so good. If I seem mildly distracted, it's because I've got Lizzie Hale performing with The Who, the Mongolian band, not the ancient British rockers. So I'm just going to take off that little bit there. And because I keep grinding away at this, it is now getting rather warm. Okay, so it might look a bit of an odd shape, but what I would say to you, or those of you that say it is an odd shape, you try making a bold shape out of flat pieces of metal. Okay, that should do. That should do. Right, for my next trick I'll work out just exactly how I'm planning on doing this. See you in a minute when I've worked it out. Okay, so I finally figured out a way of joining all the bits together. As you can see, it's not pretty, but it works. My thinking, such as it stands, sorry, pardon me, I'll turn the welder off while I'm chatting. My thinking at this moment in time is if I use this to form the first part of the arc, I've got a couple of adjustable magnets that you will have seen me using, and I'll be able to hold part 3 in position when it's time to attach it, as opposed to this mildly convoluted use of a dead old spoon. Although the comedy value of using a dead spoon to help me make a spoon rest is not lost on me. The welding itself, because I'm not familiar with doing long straight welds, I will be doing in basically a series of short bursts, in between which I'll be using my steel brush just to brush it back, clean it up, go again, until there's enough metal in there to make it watertight and strong. what I'll have to do once that's finished is, as long as it all holds together, just take the angle grinder over it, smooth it back, make it look nicer, and then polish it up again. I think I'm going to be spending a lot of time messing about doing that. Not that I mind, but you might get terminally bored with me doing that. So I think what I'm going to do for now is say see you later, and then if it works out the way I hope it does, I'll show you this completed section, and then crack on with bending the other bits and getting them ready. So on that note, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe and leave comments like, why didn't you find something curved to begin with, you idiot? But again, it's one of those, you live and learn. Thanks very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you down the road.